So Mark, tell us about Old School BMX.
Okay, so yeah, I started that back in 2010, 2011. It's something I did out of my garage at home, just on the side while I was working for this company. So initially started by just selling some random things my dad had in his warehouse, including some pedals, some cranks, some chain wheels, etc., etc. And when we ran out, people were still asking. There was obviously a demand for that sort of stuff, so I looked into it a bit deeper. Got some samples, sent them overseas, China, Taiwan. Spoke to some people in the States and started getting some things reproduced. I mean, there was still some stuff made. Amy was still about, Bullseye was still about. Most of the reputable brands that still made BMX back in the day were still doing, Diacomp was still doing bits and pieces. Cashimax, yeah, with their aero saddle and things like that. So there's still bits and pieces, but nothing like you see now or the last probably 3 years where it's taken sort of a rocket.
Yeah. So you offer quite a lot of brands. If someone wanted to, say, come in and buy a complete bike, what could you offer them straight off the showroom floor?
Yeah, so we obviously sell, as far as the reproduction bikes, we sell the SE brand as far as the retro, but we do all the current day bikes, Miraco, We the People, Sunday, etc., etc. So we do all the current branded bikes. So yeah.
And people can buy them online, they don't only have to come in?
So a lot of those bikes you can buy it online, but the companies require you to assemble the bike, have the bike rolling, and then the customer picks it up, or they can just pop in and purchase it and they go.
One thing I see on the showroom floor that you haven't mentioned is a couple of Phase 1 CWs. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So that's something recently I've spoken to Juan and Jeff Haney, who are the owners of the brand, and they're looking at sort of making a limited release of the Phase 1. So I help them with some contacts I have in one of the factories overseas. So the ones that you see here are just the prototypes. So we made a prototype of about 10, including another model, the X1. So we did that as well, or Z1, so we made that as well. So they're being tested, painted, deckled up, get them ready for samples to show the factory how we want them, stick it up, the colours, and then hopefully be right to go sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Will they be only 20 inch, no cruiser?
So 20 inches is for this year,
yep.
And we plan to have a cruiser for 2018.
Okay. And if people want to know more about the CW, they can contact you directly?
Yeah, just contact us.
Also, wow, I kind of walked in here and I just thought there'd be a small selection of products sort of tucked away. I had no idea what to expect, and it's pretty impressive. It would have taken quite some time to build up a product range like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's obviously taken since we started, so about 5 years, 5 good years of sending samples overseas, investment in tooling, building relationships with suppliers. Diacomp's probably a good one, where they initially started by making the MX1000, which we approached them about 2 years, and the answer was always no. And we finally got that over the line, and now they do 6 or 8 different calipers, half a dozen different levers, all the colours, and then you see other companies following through, seeing that there is a market in that sort of category. You've got saddles and grips and headsets and tyres. We recently made the Comp 2 from scratch, so we designed, well, not designed, but we went to a factory with some samples, paid for tooling, which was close to $10,000 for tooling, and we produced them in red, blue, black and all black.
So what's that branded?
No brand, just the generic tyre. The pattern is obviously identical to what it was back in the 80s. No brand on it, but the colours are very similar.
And that's just skin wall?
Skin wall, yeah, absolutely. And we sold out in black in the USA and in Australia within a week.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
What would you say was your favourite reproduction project?
I would say the tyre.
Okay.
It took 18 months, after I initially thought it would probably take about 6. Colours and sizing and things like that. So yeah, I'd say definitely the Comp 2 has probably been my proudest one as far as producing a tyre that had a lot of demand. You can't sort of mix it up with an original tyre from back in the day, so people can't sell these tyres as a new old stock for $1,000, because there are subtle differences with exactly the branding, the colour on the skin wall, the colour of the tyre, so they can't be they can't be mixed up with an original type from the 80s, which is very important.
Yeah. So you're a bit of a collector yourself, aren't you?
I am, yeah. So I collect the PKs.
Yep.
So I started with a couple. I remember back in, when I was a kid, I had one and it cracked it, did in the head tube, and it was stripped and the Iron Man seen it, and I remember him throwing it in the bin, and I still remember that day, and I remember crying and asking for it back, and I remember my uncle tried to weld it up and sand it and things like that, but it didn't work, so the old man chucked it in the bin, and I think that's where I got it. I was like, I need to get one of those again. And then so the last 10, 12 years I've just been collecting and building the SE collection.
So how many do you have?
Close to 80.
What, really?
Yeah, so close to 80. Built up, I think I've got about 12 or 14.
Okay.
And then I've got the rest in frame and forks, but I've got all the parts, including decks, cranks, the wheels, the tufts, bars, saddles. I've got them all to build if I wanted to, build 80 bikes, but I don't have the room for 80 bikes.
So will they all be signed after the weekend?
We'll get a few of them signed. we got PK to sign one of my favourites on the first day he was in. He come my place at night and did a squiggle. So we got that on the head tube.
So what was it about the PK that attracted you think? Apart from the fact you had one that was thrown away, there's got to be something more to it than that.
I think I had I collected a lot of bikes. So I had high-end Haros and JMCs, but I just found that PKs and SEs was the brand that I felt connected to, and I mean there wasn't really anything out of the ordinary. It wasn't like geometry or I think definitely the look of the bike was something, and it was different to all the rest. It was alloy, and so I think that's probably the one thing, but nothing nothing that really stood out. It was just something that I loved and loved the brand. So
you do a lot of limited edition stuff too, don't you?
Here. Yeah. So we try and obviously we bring out a limited bullseye case, which is a Cashamax saddle branded bullseye, some bullseye limited edition engraved hub set, and an Amy Jewel limited edition stamped and engraved numbered.
So that comes as a box, doesn't it?
Comes in a box kit, so we're just waiting for the cases to arrive. All the parts are here, so we're just waiting for the cases to arrive. Those Amy Jewels, actually, I met with Interbike at Interbike last year. I met with John, one of the owners at Amy, and I got them to reproduce the Amy Jewel when I was at the. They still had the cavities and all the tooling, so the reason why you see them overseas is because I got them to make them. So all those guys out there making money from these ribs.
Do you think that you might try to do some kind of collab with SE at some point?
I'm always open and love to work with whoever's open to do anything. Yeah, so I'd love to. I gave Todd some ideas last year at Interbike, and I know one of them may potentially come out in 19 or 18, 19. So always open to working and helping out where we can. Absolutely.
How do people find your website? What's the URL?
So it's oldschoolbmx.com.au. We've also got a Facebook page which has close to 25,000 likers, old schoolers. So we generally post up on there, new products coming out, or in stocks, out of stocks, or just some photos of bikes that we've built for customers, all that sort of stuff. So the phone rings every day with people asking questions. Obviously, recently it's been people asking, when's PK coming? Can I come and see him? What are we doing for the ride? What time's the show start? And all the typical stuff that you expect to get. So all the boys have been answering those sort of questions the last couple of weeks.
What kind of shipping do you do? You ship just in Australia, or is it worldwide?
So we ship from here worldwide. Yeah. So we use obviously Australia Post, DHL from Australia. We also have a little business which we've just started up in the US. So one looks after that, and that's called Old School BMX USA. So it's got an eBay store website. At the moment, it's got just a few of the bits and pieces that we do. Not aggressive like you see here, but hopefully in the next 12 or 18 months we'll build that to something similar to what you see in Australia.
All right. I realise we're on a tight schedule, so thanks very much for your time, and hopefully we'll come back and visit again.
Cheers.